Senator Legarda has the floor.
Thank you, Mr. President. I rise on a matter of personal and collective privilege to draw special attention to one of the most basic needs of our existence, yet it is a resource that we have taken for granted: water. Man can live for several weeks without food, but a few days without water would be detrimental to one's health. Our body, after all, is made up of 60 to 70% water. The earth is likewise composed of 2/3 water, and the Philippines, being an archipelago, is surrounded by water. But not all of it is suitable for human consumption. 97% is seawater. There is 3% fresh water. Most of this is frozen, and only 0.5% is the fresh water available for us through aquifers, rainfall, natural lakes, rivers, and reservoirs. Given these basic facts, we should all be aware that water is indeed a precious resource. But as one saying goes, and I quote, "We would never know the worth of water till the well is dry." Let us not wait for this to happen, Mr. President. We need to strengthen our water security. There are still 8 million Filipinos who lack access to safe water, and 26.5 million lack access to improved sanitation. 18 million or 18 Filipinos die daily from diarrhea and other waterborne diseases, while 55 Filipinos die daily from diseases caused by lack of proper sewerage and sanitation facilities. Water is vital to achieving food security, as agriculture accounts for 70 to 85% of our water consumption. But water security is not only about the provision of sufficient water for the needs of our people and our economic activities. It is also about having healthy ecosystems and building resilience to water-related disasters, including storms, floods, and droughts. Extreme weather events such as intense or more frequent rains, the increasing number of hot days, along with weak resource management, are factors that lead to low water security. According to the Asian Water Development Outlook, a joint report by the ADB and the Asia-Pacific Water Forum, water insecurity in the region is caused primarily by inappropriate management practices rather than physical scarcity of water. To address this, the AWDO developed a water security framework based on 5 key dimensions for household, economic, urban, environmental, and resilience to water-related disasters. Low water scarcity in these key dimensions can cause economic damage equivalent to up to 2% of our GDP. The Philippines currently scores number 2, or what we call engaged, which means that more than half the people have access to modest drinking water and sanitation facilities. Water service delivery is starting to develop, supporting economic activities. First measures are taken to improve water quality, and first attempts are being made to address water-related risks. Definitely and clearly, we need to do more. For a country that is likely to experience severe water shortage by 2040 due to the combined impact of rapid population growth and climate change, we must give utmost priority to improving our water security. We need to craft a roadmap for sustainable water use and to consolidate all water agencies to address issues such as overlapping and fragmented regulation of water supply services. Last January 20, an interagency meeting for the National Water Summit and Roadmap was convened in Malacanang by this representation, together with Environment Secretary Gina Lopez and Dr. Ernesto Ordonez as representative of the private sector. Dr. Ernie is with us today. Using the AWDO key dimensions as guide, the group identified 7 sectors to focus on: household, urban, agriculture, economic, environmental, resilience, and governance. For each sector, the committee identified issues and initial recommendations. In the household sector, among the issues are sewerage, the high incidence of waterborne disease, infrastructure deficiencies, lack of rainwater harvesters, even if there's a law since 1989, the management of water supply, flooding, the contamination of water lines due to drainage problems. In agriculture, Secretary or Senator Pangilinan knows this so well, Senator Villar knows this extremely well, irrigation efficiency and water pollution, such as pesticide leaching, are among the issues raised. To address these, we need to develop water-efficient technology such as crop varieties requiring less water, to operationalize the river basin management, to increase irrigation water productivity, and to improve irrigation governance. For urban water security, challenges include water supply and allocation, flooding, and mixing of sewage water with domestic water. Initial recommendations include the review of current city plans, providing incentives for investors in the urban water collection, the construction of water impoundments and rainwater harvesters, and enhancement of water treatment facilities for industries. For the economic sector, issues on ecotourism, industrial waste, and water as an energy source were raised. It is important that we maintain the integrity of our ecotourism spots, to implement payments for environmental services in all major watersheds, and to strictly implement the water code. We can also utilize water as an energy source by promoting small water turbines along river systems. Issues raised in environmental water scarcity or security include the deterioration of our rivers and lakes, solid waste management, mine tailings, sedimentation, and erosion, as well as a lack of early warning systems. Last week, Secretary Lopez announced the results of the Department of Environment's mining audit. It is appalling to see degraded forests and polluted watersheds. For many years, these firms operated in the country, and while they may have given employment to some, the cost on our environment is already irreparable. Many of those recommended for closure or suspension have caused the destruction of our functional watersheds. We laud the DNR for taking such bold steps towards implementing our environmental laws. We can further address challenges in environmental water security by enhancing river health through cleanup activities, enforcing the ecological solid waste management law, and the environmental impact assessment plans, implement sediment removal in water impoundments and reservoirs, and enhancing our forecasting systems. To strengthen resilience to water-related disasters, the country needs to evaluate existing programs to combat desertification and to prevent flooding, to improve its evacuation strategies, early warning systems, and disaster risk reduction and management plans. There should be strict water quality monitoring in times of drought, when higher concentration of harmful compounds are observed, and water impoundments, dams, and structural facilities must be evaluated. Capacity building activities for indigenous people must likewise be undertaken so they can adapt to water extremes. In the area of water governance, the issue of having over 30 water agencies has been a challenge because of overlapping mandates and conflicting programs. We need to have a national center for water to coordinate everyone's efforts. For the meantime, a steering committee for planning collaborative workshops towards a comprehensive roadmap for water security needs to be established. There will be several meetings that will culminate in a national water summit where outputs will be discussed. The main goal is to create an integrated water resource management framework, as well as a short-term, medium-term, and long-term strategy and program for the National Master Plan for Water. We still have a lot of work to do, and I enjoin my colleagues in the Senate to give their inputs as well. We can also do consultations in our local communities and with various sectors of society so we know their concerns as well. In conclusion, allow me to quote Dr. Ordonez in one of his commentary pieces as he succinctly describes the water situation. Water significantly affects our lives. When it is everywhere and when it is nowhere, we have serious problems. That is why we need a water master plan so we can control water instead of water controlling us. Thank you, Mr. President.